Welcome to Pravish Exam. Today, we're going to break down the essential number system tricks you absolutely need to know to ace your competitive exams. Whether you're studying for railway, banking, or SSC exams, these shortcuts are going to save you a ton of precious time. So, here's our game plan. We're going to start with the fundamentals just to make sure we're all on the same page. Then, step by step, we'll build up to the really cool stuff. Divisibility rules, LCM and HCF, remainders, and then we'll put it all to the test with real exam problems. Okay, let's get right into it. Before we learn the tricks, we gotta build a strong foundation with the absolute basics. Getting these right is the first, and honestly the most important step to mastering this whole topic. First up, let's just quickly refresh the difference between even and odd numbers. An even number, or sum sankhya, is basically any number you can slice perfectly in half, divisible by 2. An odd number, or a visham sankhya, is any number that can't be. Simple, right? Next, and this is super important, let's talk prime versus composite numbers. A prime number is a bit of a loner. It's only divisible by 1 and itself. A composite number, on the other hand, has more than 2 factors. You really need to get this difference because it's key for a lot of problems, especially when we start talking about factorization. All right, now for the fun stuff, the real time savers, the divisibility rules. These are the awesome little tricks that let you know if a number is divisible by another one without actually having to do all that tedious long division. Okay, you might want to screenshot this slide because this table, this is your secret weapon, for real. Instead of dividing, you just use these simple tricks. For 3 or 9, just add up the digits. For 4, just peek at the last 2 digits. For 11, you do this little zigzag thing with the sums of the digits. If you can master this table, you're going to fly through these questions. Now, let's tackle 2 concepts that you're going to see everywhere in these exams, LCM and HCF. Getting comfortable with these is just non-negotiable. You've got to know them. So here are the core definitions. The least common multiple, or LCM, is the smallest number that both of your original numbers can divide into evenly. Think of it as their first meeting point. The highest common factor, or HCF, is the biggest number that can divide into both of them. So the most reliable way to find both is through prime factorization. Let's take 12 and 18 as an example. First, you just break them down into their prime building blocks. For the LCM, you grab the highest power of every prime factor you see. For the HCF, you're a little more picky. You only take the lowest power of the factors they have in common. And all of that leads us to this. This is the golden rule, the crucial formula. You absolutely have to burn this into your memory. It's an incredible shortcut that pops up all over your exams. It basically means if you know any 3 of these pieces of info, you can find the 4th one instantly. This is a must-remember tool. Okay, let's dive into remainders. I know these questions can look a little intimidating at first, but trust me, they're actually pretty simple once you know the pattern. We've got some smart solutions for you. So here's the big secret to solving complex remainder problems. Don't work with the big numbers. Just work with the remainders of the smaller parts. So instead of adding 23 and 28, you just add their remainders when divided by 5. And guess what? The exact same logic works for multiplication. It just breaks a big, scary problem into tiny, manageable pieces. Now, for large powers like this, you're not actually expected to calculate 2 to the power of 10. The key is to find a repeating pattern, a cycle. So let's look for a power of 2 that gives us a nice, clean remainder of 1 when we divide by 7. Ah, look at that. 2 cubed is 8, and 8 divided by 7 leaves a remainder of 1. Perfect. That's our cycle. It repeats every 3 powers. So for the power of 10, we just see how many of those 3 power cycles we can fit in. That's 3 full cycles with 1 left over. The final remainder? It's all decided by that leftover part, which is just 2 to the power of 1. So our answer is 2. All right, theory time is over. Now it's time to get our hands dirty and put all these cool methods to the test with some actual questions from past exams. This is where it all comes together. So here's a classic question from the SSC CGL exam. You're given 2 numbers, 12 and 18, and their HCF is 6. What's their LCM? Now, how would you solve this really, really quickly? Don't even think about prime factorization. You just apply that amazing formula we talked about. You can find the answer in literally 1 step. The product of the numbers divided by the HCF gives you the LCM. So 12 times 18 divided by 6 is 36. Boom, done. See? So much faster. Okay, let's check out a remainder question from the railway exams. Your first thought might be to just start doing the long division, but hold on.
There is a much smarter way.
Yeah, you don't have to divide at all. Just remember that digit sum trick for 9. The remainder of the big number is the same as the remainder of its digit sum. So we just add 2 plus 5 plus 7, which gets us 14. And what's the remainder when you divide 14 by 9? It's 5. Done in seconds.
And here we go, one final problem from a bank PO exam to really test your skills. Now, this question is just a tricky way of asking for the remainder of 121 when you divide it by 11. Well, using our rule for 11, the sum of the digits in the odd places is 1 plus 1, which is 2. The digit in the even place is just 2. The difference is 0, and 0 is divisible by 11. So 121 is already perfectly divisible. That means the remainder is 0, and the answer is 0. It's a bit of a trick question. So let's do a quick recap. What are the most important things to take away from all this? First, that LCM times HCF formula is pure gold. Second, the digit sum trick for 3 and 9 is an absolute lifesaver. Third, remember to break down big remainder problems into little ones. And finally, all these divisibility rules are about one thing: saving you critical, precious time in that exam hall. Now, watching this is a great start, but practice is what really makes these tricks stick. So to really make them second nature, head over to pravexam.com. You can get access to free mock tests for government exams and use our AI-powered learning tools to really sharpen your skills. And hey, if these strategies helped you out, please show some support by liking this, dropping a comment with any questions you have, and subscribing for more exam-winning explainers. Good luck with all your preparation.